All right, so get ready, because today we're going to be diving into a topic that might just make you question, well, everything. We're talking about the crazy similarities between the human brain and the universe.
And not just like, some poetic metaphor or whatever. We're talking hard data, math, and structures that line up scarily well, even across scales that are almost impossible to even imagine.
Exactly. We've got this document packed with research on it, and it might sound kind of out there at first, like comparing apples to, well, the whole universe. But stick with us because the science is seriously mind-blowing. Ever catch yourself looking at pictures of galaxies, all those stars and swirling stuff, and think, wait, this looks kind of familiar?
Mhm.
You are so not alone. Turns out there's a ton of research on those uncanny parallels between, like, cosmic structures and how our own brains work. But it goes way deeper than just looking alike, am I right?
Oh, absolutely. To really get into it, we got to start with this study out of Italy. Franco Bazza and Albert Fetti, these researchers, they dove deep into comparing the human brain with the observable universe. Published a paper back in 2020 that's been making waves ever since.
So hit us with it. What they actually find?
So one of the first things they looked at was just how many pieces are in each system. You've got something like 69 billion neurons in the human brain and like an estimated 100 billion galaxies in the observable universe. I mean, those numbers sound super different on the surface, right? But when you think about how insanely different the scale is, just the fact that they're even in the same ballpark should make you go, whoa.
It's like the universe is giving our brains a high five, but across all of space-time. But it gets even wilder, right? I mean, it can't just be about the
You're
numbers.
telling me. So they found that galaxies, they make up about 30% of all the mass in the universe. And neurons, guess what? About 30% of the mass in the brain. Meaning both systems have kind of the same density of stuff happening, the active parts.
Okay, wild, but keep going.
Hold on. It gets better. The way those pieces are connected, that's where it gets me. Both galaxies A and D neurons, they form these intricate webs, filaments, nodes, like a network. Picture a cosmic web of galaxies, all connected, and it's basically mirroring the neural pathways inside your head.
No way. So not only do they have similar amounts of stuff, and that stuff is similarly dense, but it's even wired up in a similar way. See, Mom, that's got to be more than just a coincidence, right?
It really makes you think, right? And it doesn't stop there. Batsa and Fetty, they dug into the spectral density too, basically how matter is spread out. And guess what? Crazy similar between the cosmic web and the neural networks in our brains. Even the way they're organized, from small structures up to huge networks. Mirrors, man.
Yeah. Okay, seriously, picture this. You're looking at two pictures, side by side. One's neurons branching out in the brain. The other is galaxies with those cosmic filaments connecting them, and you honestly can't tell which is which. I'm not making this up. The pictures are out there. We'll link them on the site. It's like the universe is dropping a giant cosmic hint right in front of us. So we've been talking about, like, the basic building blocks of the brain and the universe and how they seem to kind of follow the same blueprint, which is already crazy. But it's got to be more than just a snapshot, right? It's not like the universe is just frozen in time, looking like a brain. It's alive, it's dynamic, always changing, just like, our bodies and minds.
You got it.
Mhm.
For centuries, people thought the universe was static, like unchanging. But
Yeah.
now we know it's totally a whirlwind of activity. Galaxies being born, colliding, doing this crazy cosmic dance over billions of years. And just like the cells in our bodies are always interacting, dividing, renewing, the universe is doing its own thing too, always in flux.
Whoa, it's like the universe is breathing, expanding, contracting, and within that breath, entire galaxies are born, live their lives, and, fade away. Makes you feel kind of small, but also, like, connected to it all. And here we are with these brains that, again, mirror that whole dance.
It's pretty wild when you think about it.
But so how far do these parallels actually go? I mean, when we're talking about this whole dynamism thing, this constant change.
Honestly, the analogies we can draw between what's going on in the brain and what's happening out there in the universe, it's mind-blowing. Let's talk about galactic mergers for a sec. You've got these massive galaxies, right? They collide over millions of years, creating these stellar nurseries, basically where stars are born. It's incredible, and it literally reshapes the universe as we know it.
It's like a cosmic makeover montage.
Exactly. Now, think about something like, I don't know, cellular fusion in our own bodies, where cells combine, share information, create new life, all that good
It's
stuff.
not like the universe is showing off like, hey, brain, watch this. I can do cell division too, but with galaxies.
Right. It's like we're seeing the same fundamental principles playing out, just on wildly different scales.
It really makes you think that we're not just, like, watching this cosmic show. We're part of the dance. But, okay, here's where I trip out a little. What if all this amazing order, the complexity, what if it's just like a cosmic crapshoot, you know?
You're hitting on something that's puzzled, like, everyone who's ever thought about this stuff. How do we find meaning, purpose in a universe that might just be inherently chaotic?
Yeah.
Like random chance, not some big plan. Ludwig Boltzmann, this physicist, he wrestled with this big
Oh,
time.
yeah, I've heard that name.
So he basically said that in an infinite universe, highly ordered states, even something as complex as a brain, could just pop up by pure chance.
Wait, hold on. So you're saying that somewhere out there could be like a random bunch of particles and they just happen to form a brain?
That's the gist of it, yeah. It's called Boltzmann's paradox, and it really messes with your head. Like, are we incredibly lucky to be here, or is there something else going on that we don't understand?
Okay, that's both fascinating and kind of terrifying. My brain hurts just trying to imagine it. Speaking of mind-bending stuff, though.
What about the whole we're living in a simulation idea? That's got to be right up there with Boltzmann's paradox on the woe scale.
Oh, absolutely. The simulation argument. It gets even more interesting when you think about all these brain-universe connections we've been talking about.
Okay, lay it on me.
So Nick Bostrom, he's a philosopher at Oxford, he came up with this argument. It basically has three main parts, right?
All right, I'm following.
First, it says that future civilizations, they'll probably get so advanced that they can make these super realistic simulations, so real that the people inside wouldn't even know it's fake.
Like, we're talking the Matrix level stuff here.
Exactly. Second, it says that as technology keeps getting better, the number of these simulations, it's going to explode way more than base reality. And then the third part, the kicker.
Hit me.
If those first two things are true, then statistically speaking, there's a good chance that we're in a simulation right now. So there could be all these advanced beings out there creating universes like we create video games, and we're just clueless. What if they're watching us right now? Like, oh, look, they're talking about us again.
Right. Maybe they're placing bets on whether we'll figure it out.
These humans are hilarious. They're comparing their brains to the universe again. Adorable.
Yeah.
Okay, but seriously, is there anything we can actually do with this information? It's easy to get lost in the what ifs and the existential dread. Is there something we can take away from all of this? Like, why does it even matter?
Well, beyond just, like, freaking out about it, there might be some real value in exploring these parallels. Like, it could help us understand both the universe and ourselves better, you know?
So instead of looking for aliens, we should be looking at our own brains.
Kinda. I mean, think about it. The human brain, it's this crazy complex thing, and it seems to mirror the vastness, the complexity of the cosmos. What if it holds clues to how the universe works?
It's like we've got a mini universe tucked away in our skulls.
Exactly. And on the flip side, maybe figuring out the universe can help us unlock the full potential of our own minds.
Whoa, that's a pretty mind-blowing thought. So it's not all just philosophical, right? There's hard science backing this up.
Oh, absolutely. Remember those quantitative comparisons we talked about? There's even more. Like, studies estimate there were something like 150 trillion synaptic connections in the brain, just in one person.
150 trillion. Okay, that's a big number, but
Now compare that to the estimated 700 billion stars in the observable universe. Still a huge number, right?
yeah, but like way less than the synapses.
Exactly. It's about, let me see, 5 times more stars than synapses. But still, we're talking about things so different in scale, and the numbers are surprisingly close.
That's wild. It's like finding out that your house and the whole city you live in have almost the same number of bricks. It just doesn't add up. What else did they find?
Okay, get this. They compared something called the clustering coefficient of the brain in the universe.
The what now?
Okay, imagine the brain like, I don't know, Facebook, right? A big social network. The clustering coefficient basically tells you how likely your friends are to also be friends with each other, like how connected and tight-knit a group is.
Oh, okay, so like a measure of clickness.
Basically, the brain's clustering coefficient is around 0.08, the universe, about 0.11.
Whoa, again, super close. But what's that actually mean for like how they work?
It means they both have this kind of hierarchical modular structure. The universe has galaxies, clusters, superclusters, all organized, right? The brain has regions, networks, specialized areas. Same organizational principle, just different scales.
Okay, so similar numbers of things, similar density, wiring, organization. Is there anything that doesn't line up?
Right. It's crazy. Even entropy, which is like a measure of disorder or randomness.
Oh, like how messy my desk is.
Kinda. Obviously, the actual numbers are super different because, hello, brain versus the entire universe, but the relative levels are shockingly similar.
So even in the chaos, there's a similar amount of like underlying order. Man, for a show called The Deep Dive, this one really lives up to the name. But where do we even go from here? Like, what's the takeaway for all of us listening who aren't, astrophysicists or brain surgeons?
It's a lot to wrap your head around, that's for sure. But I think the biggest takeaway is just how incredible and interconnected
Yeah.
everything is. The human brain, this unbelievably complex thing, it mirrors the vastness, the intricacies of the cosmos. It's like we're each carrying a little universe inside ourselves.
And if our brains can do that, if they can mirror the universe like that, what does it mean for us? What about human consciousness, our potential?
Now, that is the million-dollar question, isn't it? What other secrets are hidden in our own minds? And if we can unlock those, maybe we can unlock the secrets of the universe, too. It's something to think about next time you look up at the stars.
I know I will. Thanks for blowing our minds today.